I bought a used car from a dealership and it broke down 4 days later. Turns out they rolled back the odometer by 80,000 miles and painted over rust damage. The salesman stopped returning my calls immediately. So there I was, standing on the side of Highway 9 at 11 p.m. on a Thursday, with smoke pouring out from under the hood of my supposedly reliable Toyota. I just bought this car 4 days ago. 4 days. The salesman, this guy named Brett with slicked back hair and a tie that was way too shiny, promised me it only had 62,000 miles and was in perfect condition. He even showed me the Carfax report himself, pointing at the screen with his chubby finger like he was doing me some huge favor. I paid $8,500 cash. Money I'd been saving for 2 years working night shifts at the warehouse, eating ramen basically every day, skipping going out with my friends. I needed a car desperately because the bus route to my job got canceled, and I was spending like $40 a day on Ubers. Brett knew I was desperate too. I could tell by how he kept rushing me, saying other people were interested, that this deal wouldn't last past the weekend. When the engine died and that horrible grinding noise started, I literally felt my stomach drop. I called Brett 17 times the next morning. 17. Every single call went straight to voicemail. Then I tried the dealership's main number, and suddenly nobody knew who Brett was. The receptionist kept saying he was with another customer or in a meeting. Yeah, right. My buddy Kevin works as a mechanic, so I had the car towed to his shop the next day. Cost me $150 just for the tow. Kevin popped the hood, looked around for maybe 10 minutes, then came over to me with this really uncomfortable expression on his face. Dude, I got bad news, he said, wiping his hands on a greasy rag. This engine's got way more wear than 62,000 miles. I'm thinking closer to 140,000, maybe more. And see this rust here? Somebody painted right over it. This frame's got some serious problems. I felt like I was gonna throw up right there in his garage. Kevin pulled up the real vehicle history on his computer using the VIN number, and sure enough, the last reported mileage from 8 months ago was 138,000 miles. They'd literally rolled it back by over 75,000 miles. The Carfax Brett showed me was completely fake, probably photoshopped or something. I went back to the dealership the next morning, walked right past the receptionist who tried to stop me, and found Brett in his little office eating a sandwich and watching YouTube on his phone. When he saw me, his face went white. "We need to talk," I said, probably way louder than I should have. He started stuttering about how he sold the car as is, no warranties, that I signed all the paperwork. I pulled out my phone and showed him Kevin's inspection report and the real vehicle history. "You committed fraud," I said. My hands were shaking, I was so angry. "You faked documents and sold me a lemon." Brett's whole attitude changed then. He stood up, got all aggressive, told me to get out before he called security, said I couldn't prove anything, and that I was just another broke kid who didn't know how to maintain a vehicle. Here's where I did something crazy. Instead of leaving, I sat down right there in the dealership lobby, just sat on their fancy leather couch and refused to move. The receptionist freaked out. The manager came over threatening to call the cops. Other customers were staring. I didn't care anymore. I told everyone who walked in exactly what happened to me, showed them the inspection report on my phone, warned them not to buy anything from this place. After 2 hours of me sitting there basically causing a scene, the owner finally came out. This older guy named Phil, who apparently never comes in anymore. I explained everything to him, showed him all my evidence, the fake Carfax, the inspection, everything. He looked genuinely shocked and really angry, but not at me. He called Brett into his office and I could hear them yelling at each other through the door. 30 minutes later, Phil came back out and offered me a full refund plus $2,000 for my trouble and the tow fees. He also said Brett was fired effective immediately and apologized like 6 times. Turns out Brett had been doing this scam for months, and Phil had no idea because he'd basically retired and let his managers run everything. I took the money, and with the refund plus the extra cash, I had enough to buy a decent car from an actual legitimate dealer across town. But before I left, I posted the whole story on every review site I could find, with pictures of the fake Carfax and everything. That dealership's rating dropped from 4 stars to like 2 stars in a week.